What's up? So today I want to talk about why your anxiety symptoms are not stopping, right? It's a billion-dollar question. Why are my symptoms sticking around? For some of you, you're doing a lot of great things, but your symptoms are not leaving, right? And it's so frustrating. It can feel so defeating when you're trying, when you're trying hard to make change in your life and the symptoms just don't seem to ease up. So I'm going to give you some reasons why. There's tons of reasons why this could be happening. I could honestly talk for hours and hours on this, but I'm going to try to give you some of the main ones to get some of you on the right path. So you want to stick around for this whole video if you want to get the full value out of it. So again, this is something obviously that I dealt with. I had anxiety disorders, multiple of them for 5 total years. That last year was a recovery period where I finally started to see more good days than bad days. And let me tell you, even though there were some rough days during recovery, it was a great and a wonderful place to be compared to the hell that I was in before. So before, for 4 years, I was making a lot of these mistakes. So I'm going to share those with you, and hopefully, you can pick something up out of this and use it, and hopefully it can propel you towards recovery and to give you some of those days where your symptoms really aren't noticeable. And when you first start getting some good days where the symptoms aren't around, it's so amazing and you feel so great, and you can take that momentum and take the gratitude that you're showing your subconscious and really move forward. It's kind of like a snowball effect, and that's kind of how recovery is. It's a momentum game. So obviously the first reason that I'll get out of the way, it's an obvious one. You are not really doing much at all for your recovery. You're waiting to feel good enough to do the things that you got to do to get you there, right? You have no routine. You're not doing anything. Maybe you watch videos like this, but you don't really apply anything that you read or watch, right? Or see or hear. You are waiting for a miracle. You are waiting to wake up one day and this nightmare be over with, right? And I'm not trying to talk down on anybody that's in this situation, because anxiety can suck the motivation out of you completely. When you have intense fear, especially if you're having panic attacks and severe symptoms, like sometimes all you want to do is sit in the bed. But I'm going to tell you right now, your anxiety will not feel sorry for you, and it will not stop just because you are sad and because you have no motivation and you are overtaken by fear. And fear fuels the symptoms. So as long as we are stuck in fear and we are stuck in our beds and we are hiding from the world, hiding from potential triggers and things of that nature, your symptoms are going to obviously continue and your anxiety will get worse. So that's an obvious one. Now, for some of you, you are doing some things. You've got a routine going for you. You're reading books, you're watching videos, and you're actually trying to apply some things. A lot of you are starting to eat healthier. There's a lot of blessings in disguise when it comes to anxiety. We start cleaning up our diets. Maybe we stop drinking, we stop smoking. We realize, hey, I got to be a morning person. I need a morning routine. You hear meditation's great, or journaling, so you're buying a journal. You're trying to do some guided meditation, and you're starting to do some things that are good for your anxiety, but your symptoms are still kind of nagging. Your symptoms are changing constantly, and it's really messing with your acceptance. And if you have health anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. Like, man, I'm doing this diet, I'm doing this exercise, but my symptoms are still there. Maybe this means that, I really do have a disease. Now, first of all, you need to get checked out. I'm going to tell you that in every video, because some people are scared to go to the doctor and they're just hoping that this is anxiety. You need to know for sure by a professional, or at least be told by a professional, regardless if you believe it or not, that you are healthy, right? So you go and you get checked and everything like that, but some of you are still dealing with the symptoms even though you're doing the right things, and again, it messes with your acceptance, especially if you deal with health anxiety. So here's some reasons why if you're doing some good things, your symptoms are still sticking around. You're still showing tons of fear when the symptoms occur. Okay, you're showing tons of fear. It doesn't matter if you're doing mindfulness and you're eating healthy and you're working out, if every time your chest hurts, or every time your head hurts, or every time your stomach feels weird, or whatever symptom, right? There's thousands of different symptoms and sensations of anxiety, and you show fear. When you show fear, it feels the symptoms. It reinforces the anxiety, reinforces the symptoms to continue. The symptom is a message from your subconscious. Your subconscious is scared. It tells you that it's scared, and consciously you freak out and you react in fear and you say, yes, subconscious, I'm scared too. This symptom is necessary. So guess what? This symptom continues. So when you show fear, at least if you show a lot of fear, right? We want to take the fear factor down a little bit. That's why acceptance is so big when it comes to anxiety. Once you finally accept that it's anxiety and not a disease, a lot of the fear is allowed to go away. So if you don't have much acceptance, it's almost impossible at this point. But when you show a lot of fear, you're just reinforcing the symptom to not only stick around, but to get worse. Think about the symptoms that you struggle with right now. They're likely there because you show fear towards them. You hate them. You hate that they are there, and you probably don't have a huge acceptance that those symptoms that you're dealing with are anxiety. They're the ones that annoy you the most. And it's interesting because I bet you if you look back at some of your other symptoms that you don't have anymore, it's because you probably came around to accepting that those symptoms were anxiety. Maybe you went and got checked out by a doctor and you finally believed them. You finally believed the test that said that you're healthy, and you're like, okay, this is anxiety, and you let go of that focus, that fear, and guess what? Magically, that symptom starts to fade away because that symptom's not as effective, right? You're not really entertaining it with fear or focus or negative energy. So then your symptom changes, of course, if you haven't really fixed the root causes of your anxiety, and that's what happens with a lot of us. We go through these different phases of symptoms. So now you have some new symptoms, and guess what? Those new symptoms are different. They're new. Maybe you Googled them. Maybe you're afraid that they're a different disease. Maybe you have no acceptance at all. And now that you're fearing them, guess what? Those are going to be the new set of symptoms that stick around until, guess what? Till you finally accept that those are anxiety, or whenever you finally stand up to them and you stop showing a ton of fear towards them, then those will start to fade. So I went through a lot of cycles like this, but unfortunately, if you don't have overall acceptance that what you're dealing with and the changes in your symptoms are anxiety, like this can drag on for years. So trying to get to a good level of acceptance is very important to get the recovery process to get started. Okay, so that's total fear, right? Some of you are doing a little bit better, right? You're not in total fear. Maybe some of you actually have gotten to the point where you accept that these are actually anxiety symptoms and not a disease, but you still show a lot of frustration and annoyance whenever they pop up, all right? Our job at this point is to show the subconscious that not only do we accept that these are anxiety symptoms and we're not like super scared, but we also have to show our subconscious that we're not really frustrated with them and that we're not really super annoyed with them, because even showing smaller amounts of frustration and annoyance can keep them there. It still shows technically some fear and frustration. Your subconscious wants you to go through life, handle adversity, make changes, and then finally it'll start to trust you, and these symptoms will start to ease up, okay? So if you're getting mad, if you're getting angry, if you're saying a lot of negative things to yourself or out loud or whatever, or you're talking smack to your subconscious, when these symptoms pop up, you're not going to get anywhere with it, right? You basically have to get to a point where, yes, it's understood that we don't like symptoms, that we don't want to deal with symptoms at all, right? But if you can just get it to where it's like at 5% annoyance, I'm telling you, which should be that understood level of annoyance when you have symptoms, get it down to like 5% of what you show, because we don't want the subconscious to see that we're frustrated. We don't want the subconscious to see that we are afraid. But basically, we just want to show that we can basically go on with life, handle adversities, go to work, go to school, do the things that we got to do, pursue goals, pursue happiness, and live life, and continue to better ourselves and our diet, our exercise, our routine while the symptoms are going on. And I'm telling you, the symptoms will start to ease up. The next reason why symptoms are not going away is because you're just wondering, how long is it going to take? You know what I mean? Maybe you're not showing mid-level frustration, but you got one or two lingering symptoms that are just sticking around. Maybe you do accept that they're anxiety symptoms, but you're like, why won't this dizziness just go away? Why is it still lingering? It's been 3 months. I've been doing everything correctly. It's because you're asking that question. That is a very dangerous question. For some people, you've been at 90% recovery for like a year, and you still have like one or two things that are there, and you're just wondering, when are they going to leave? When am I going to wake up and the symptoms not here? You have to stop asking that question, because again, it shows enough fear and doubt and frustration possible anger and sadness, enough to reinforce that lingering symptom or two, right? At this point, your subconscious is like hanging on to you like a parent hangs on to an 18-year-old whenever they're leaving the house for college. I don't want to let you go. You make some boneheaded decisions. I know I got to let you go. I'm proud of you. You got to live your life and go to college, but I don't want to let you go, And I think that that's what our subconscious is doing, in that last 10 to 20% of our recovery. You've done some good things, you are growing up, you have made some changes, but it's still a little scared. You still have to gain a little bit of trust. And for some of you, just asking the question of how long is this going to take, how long is full recovery going to take, it gives enough doubt to your subconscious probably to hang on to those symptoms because you haven't fully rewired. You have to get to a point where you're like, I don't care how long it takes. I really don't care how long. If these symptoms are here for another year, it is what it is. I'm moving forward with my life and I'm going to be all right. I've recovered consciously. My subconscious may have not fully recovered yet, but it'll catch up and that's fine with me. It'll get there. And once you do that, I'm telling you, for some of you, like in a week or two after that, after you make that decision, that last symptom or two will go away. But even if it doesn't, it takes a few months after that, so be it. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be okay with that because it really shows your subconscious that you're not freaking scared anymore and that this symptom is not necessary. So some of you wondering how long it's going to take, that's enough to keep a symptom or two around. Also, some of you that have anxiety symptoms that are sticking around, another reason why this could be lingering and taking a lot longer than it should is because you're not really bought in on the lifestyle that you're doing. You have changed your lifestyle up. You are, working on your routine. You are working on your body. You're exercising, you're working out, you're eating healthier and things like that. Maybe you're even going out and doing exposure, but you don't really plan on this being forever. You still miss your old life more than you look forward to the new life. And if you just miss your old life, the one that actually ironically got you here, then your subconscious is not going to be fully bought in on what you're doing, and therefore the symptoms can linger even whenever you're doing a lot of things right. So that's another reason why your symptoms are sticking around. You're not going to fool your subconscious. Your subconscious knows you. You've been programming it for your whole entire life, right? And it's actually 97% of you. 97% of you, I think, knows who you are. So you're not going to fool it into recovery. So if you're doing all these things and it's just chores to you, it's not exciting for you, it's not fun for you, well, then I guess get used to having symptoms, because your subconscious isn't going to just let up and give up on you. It's going to keep yelling and screaming at you, poking, prodding you with these symptoms. If it's screaming at you, it's panic attacks until you make some changes. Because you're at that point, you're at a fork in the road in your life where either you're going to go off, crow. You're going to either continue on the same path that you're at, and do the things that you're doing, or you're going to actually level up to actually enjoy and live the rest of your life in a happy way. And that's what it is. Anxiety is a sign that you need to level up and grow. So you're at a fork in the road. So if you're just going to do some of these things that you need to do for anxiety, but you treat them like chores and you're not excited about them, then you're not going to grow from that. Your subconscious knows you're just doing it and that you're likely to go back to the lifestyle you were living if the symptoms were to stop. So some of you are not prepared for this to be a new way of life for you. And some of you are just not really excited about the process. You're not excited about recovery. And this next one, guys, this is another big one. You're doing the routine, you're doing mindfulness, you're doing everything that you can do within your bubble and your comfort zone. But the things that really get you anxious and stressed out and triggered, you're not exposing yourself to them. So therefore, you're never going to fully get rid of your symptoms. Maybe your symptoms are at a minimal when you're in your home, right? In your safe zone. Maybe you don't have any symptoms when you're doing mindfulness or whenever you're working out at home and stuff. But every time you get into a vehicle, your chest starts to hurt really bad. If you want ultimately these symptoms to go away, you have to defeat all these triggers. You have to go out and expose. Some of you are just doing the routine, you're doing all these other things, and you're just hoping that all those other things will make this fear go away before you get in the car again. No, those symptoms are always going to pop up whenever you go into the car again, like they always are. So you might as well go ahead and start exposing yourself to them now and start to desensitize. That's the only way to desensitize ourselves. You're going to remain sensitive to the car if you avoid the car. It'll eventually get to a point to whenever you see a car, your heart rate's going to go up. And I'm just using driving as an example. You know what you're afraid of. You know what you're uncomfortable about pursuing. And I'll just say this, the things that we are most reluctant to do in our journey are the things that are going to propel us towards recovery. So for instance, it's easy to do the things that we like and the things that we want to do. But yeah, I see so many people, we just get stuck in our bubble, our comfort zone, our routine. We'll take all the supplements, we'll even fix the diet. We'll do some exercise if we're not afraid of it. And we'll do the mindfulness and everything. I'll work on my gratitude and everything. But, no, I'm not getting back in the car. I'm not going to get into a long line anymore. I'm not going to go into social situations until I feel like I'm at 100%. Well, you're never going to get at 100%. Or really anywhere near to 100% just by doing things in your comfort zone and in your bubble. So a lot of you are not being progressive enough or aggressive enough with your exposure. So that's another reason why your symptoms are not stopping. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things that kind of go into this. And you can see how I can just talk about this for hours. We're over 16 minutes right now. So yeah, so if you made it this far, let's do an affirmation. Somebody told me to bring these affirmations back. So if you made it this far in the video, first of all, thank you for your patience. And I want you to go down below in the comment section and I want you to comment in all caps, I will get excited about recovery. I will get excited about recovery. Because if you're not excited about recovery, your subconscious won't buy into anything that you're doing. So put that affirmation down below in the comment section. And guys, speaking of recovery, if you're excited about recovery, you're ready to finally freaking work, and you want that routine, you want that diet plan, you want the actual mindset that you need to actually recover from anxiety, check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. So many people have been getting it. I've got 3 new reviews I'm gonna be posting on my Instagram this week. So check those out if you are on the fence about it. But guys, take advantage of it because it's very, very affordable right now compared to most courses, and you're not going to find a course with this much packed into it for this price. So take advantage of that, guys. It'll help you out. It's my step-by-step blueprint on anxiety recovery, how I did it. And guys, I had panic attacks, I had generalized anxiety disorder, and then I had the Mac Daddy of them all, health anxiety. So I'm telling you, if I could get out of all that, a lot of you can as well. All right, so take advantage of that. Could help. It's changing lives. I want you to be a part of that as well. My coaching info, guys, and online therapy is also down below, so check that out. I'm going to put a video up at the end. Be sure to check that out as well. Subscribe, hit the bell, turn the notifications on so you can get updated. I've been uploading pretty much every day now. And then join my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff is down below. But I love you all, and until next time, guys, keep fighting.